Waterfall, the CCW podcast.
Hello and welcome to Waterfall. It's the water saving podcast from CCW. That's the Consumer Council for Water. We represent everyone who drinks water throughout England and Wales. This is the podcast all about saving water, saving money, protecting the environment and combating climate change. I'm Mike and I'm here with the wonderful Karen Gibbs. Hello, Karen.
Hello, Mike.
I can never tell from the way you say hello what kind of mood you're in. Should I even go there?
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably about 6.5.
Okay, so let's go to the man who's lurking and perking. It's Tom.
Hey.
Hi, Tom. Producer Tom.
Well, I should say we're an audio podcast, but I am on camera in a well-lit room, so it's very unlike me right now. It's nice and sunny.
Are. You've got some strange effect on your face.
Do I?
Or maybe it's just your face.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully it's the filter that's reducing the paunch. But yeah, hi everyone. Great to be here, and today's episode's fantastic, and can't wait for you to hear it.
Oh, we've got a fabulous guest on. We are talking about Water Savings Week, and we've got a returning guest. I always love it when we have a returning guest. We've got Steph from Waterwise, and she's going to be popping along in just a minute to tell us all about Water Savings Week, which is a fantastic initiative. Loads of great ideas in there, easy ways to save water, save money, and all that good stuff. Here at Waterfall, we love hearing from you guys, and you can get in touch with the show.
Yes, if you'd like to email us, that's podcast@ccwater.org.uk.
And we have an Instagram account, that's Waterfall Podcast. If you're into your Instagram, we have heard from a listener, Alistair from America, the US of A, has been in touch with the show. And I have to say, I did think this was a hoax at first, right? So Alistair wrote in saying, on the subject of saving water, I'm doing a cold shower month in May, so no hot showers for a month. Will you join me, brackets, metaphorically speaking, I'm not interested in sharing a cold shower with you. It's a great water saver. No running the shower before stepping into it, let it warm up. No temptation to stay in longer than is necessary, unless you're a masochist. Plus, there are a ton of documented health benefits. And I'm not sure if I should read this out. And I imagine urinating in a cold shower is even more rewarding. Are you up for it? So my reaction to this was, are you kidding me? Is this a joke, right? Is this a joke? So I did respond back to Alistair saying, have you got some more information? Or words to that effect. And to be fair, it's a real thing. It's a proper real thing, right? There's lots of stuff all about the benefits of cold showers. So yeah, just Google it. But I'll just read you a bit from the response. So I've pushed back saying, really? And he said, yes, Google it. There are all sorts of health benefits. The Rock has done a cold shower every morning. I've done months of cold showers a few times. The last time I couldn't stop and ended up having cold showers for about 8 months right through winter. Come on, give it a go. The first 10 days are miserable, but once you get used to it, it becomes addictive. I have to say I wasn't massively enthusiastic about this idea. But then, you know, they've got the marathon in just a few weeks' time. You can sponsor me. So running the marathon for Water in a few weeks' time. And I thought, do you know what some of the health benefits are good for your muscles, etc., etc. So actually, the last 2 days I've tried it. And so 2 days ago, I had my first cold shower where, technically it wasn't a cold shower. I was just standing next to this shower while sticking various limbs in, one at a time, where I could bear the pain. But actually, a couple of observations. When you do just jump in, you just have to be ready for that big gasp of air as the cold hits you. But actually, do you know what? It didn't mean your shower was a lot shorter, saving water and saving money because you weren't heating it. And afterwards, I was surprised how good it did feel. So you know, it's not necessarily as daft an idea as you first think. But I did look up the benefits, and do you know what? There are tons of benefits. And there was a really good article from UCLA, so that's an American university in LA. And some of the benefits include bolstering your immunity, combating the symptoms of depression, improving circulation, increased metabolism, reduce inflammation and prevent muscle soreness. That's what I was interested in with all these miles and getting under my belt, and relieve localized pain. Although I'm not sure about that one because it sort of seemed to be a bit of a pain standing in a cold shower. The benefits of cold shower. Something you guys are interested in, Tom or Karen?
I don't think I've tried it. I might give it a go.
Tom?
I find it very admirable, but I've got to be honest. I've just recently moved into my first home, and the boiler's been on the blink lately, and I'm having to actually do cold showers whether I want them or not, and I kind of resent it. Actually, I don't have the mental fortitude, but I admire those who do.
You do have to, I mean, to be fair, I've had 2 cold showers, so I'm really not in a position to make many authoritative.
Wim Hof over here.
I did notice, so I ran into work today, and I did notice that at work, the cold setting was warmer than the cold setting in my house. So they've clearly got a water tank somewhere, so the water is not quite as cold. So I found today's a lot easier than yesterday's, or maybe that's just that I'm getting a little bit used to it. Anyway, there you go. But that could be a useful thing for some people. A lot of health benefits and a money saver.
Are you still able to sing along to your 3-minute shower tune with your teeth chattering?
I'm unable to say very little, Karen. The shock. I mean, yeah, that's probably a good thing for everyone else, although I'm not usually sharing with anyone. So there you go. There's today's top tip. I'd like to hear more from Alistair on his. I'm sure Alistair's sitting on many, many tips. If this level of detail is coming in on a message to Waterfall, then I think you'll find that I think Alistair will be sitting on loads of tips. So great to hear from Alistair. Want to hear from more people on their top tips. This is probably the funniest message we've ever received on Waterfall. So please do keep them coming in. Right, let's move on. Water Savings Week. I think it's time to bring on the guest.
What would you like Waterfall to cover next? Send your water-saving topics to podcast@ccwater.org.uk.
It's brilliant to have Steph Hurry back on Waterfall. Hi, Steph. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me back, guys.
Oh, you're welcome. You're practically part of the team now. In fact, we were thinking of maybe getting rid of Karen and replacing her with you.
Can I be an honorary member?
You're always welcome. And to be fair, I think Karen will have an alternative view of what I've just said. Get rid of Mike, replace me with you. That's probably more feasible and improves the quality of the show. Anyway, you're very welcome.
Steph, it's great to have you with us again, and you're here to talk about Waterwise's Water Saving Week. So I wonder if you can tell us a little bit about it and what it aims to do.
Yes, so Water Saving Week is in its 7th year running now. It's running between the 15th and 19th of May this year. And essentially we're looking at different themes each day to look at water from a different kind of perspective. We're just trying to help people understand how they can reduce their water usage and why it's so important to do so.
So there's a different theme for every day of the week. So I suppose let's logically start at the beginning. Let's start with Monday. So water and money is the Monday. Tell us more about that.
So water and money. Now, lots of people who are on a meter will realise, obviously, the less water you use, the more money you are saving on your water bill. But lots of people don't realise the connection with energy as well. So when you're using hot water, you're also using energy, which is therefore incurring costs on your energy bill. So by saving water, you can not only obviously save yourself water, but you can also save yourself money and energy too. Some things we like to say are just things like shorter showers. If you're running a bath, for example, then have a more shallow bath, and anything that's kind of reducing your hot water use, you can hopefully see savings on your energy bill as well.
Given the cost of living crisis, it does feel like this is a very, very practical day.
I think the cost of living crisis definitely is something that we wanted to tap into and give people really easy to digest kind of top tips throughout the day that they can then take into their daily life, and not just throughout the week. It can be used obviously all the time.
Oh, absolutely. Karen's loving the hot water tips, and she's just full of them. What's your favourite, Karen?
Well, I think the classic, only use your dishwasher and washing machine when it's full is always a good one. I think the shorter showers is obviously a one that we've been promoting as well.
Lots of easy ways to save money and save water there. So Tuesday, this is a day that's really close to our heart. It's water and the environment. Tell us more. Let's unpack that one.
So water and the environment. So obviously with climate change, it means that currently our weather is a lot less predictable than it used to be. We're getting a lot more drier spells. So if you can think back to last summer, it was extremely hot and very, very dry. And we're also experiencing more storms and flooding. And if you par that with our growing population, it means that everybody's using more water, and therefore it's more of a pressure on the environment where we're taking the water. So essentially by reducing our water consumption and by water companies reducing their leakage and building more reservoirs and water sources, then we can all help to reduce water consumption and water use, and particularly in the summer as well, to help the kind of wildlife flourish, keep those rivers high, and help obviously all of those that need that water as well.
I mean, I think you're making a really important point there, because I don't think people tend to think about the water that they use at home coming from the natural environment. It's very easy to take our water supplies for granted. So there's lots of things that you can do. And certainly some of my top tips are associated with the garden. So investing in things like a water butt, maybe keeping a jug by the kitchen sink and waiting till if you use that to save the water that you let run while the hot water's coming through or the cold water's cooling down. You can use that on your garden as well, which is always a good thing to do.
Yeah, one of the top tips that lots of people forget about is, I know lots of people do want to have a bath and for their health and well-being. So we often say, don't not have a bath. But if you do have one, think about reusing that water. So perhaps you pop a bucket by the side of your bath and use that to flush your toilet.
And it would be remiss of me not to mention, with producer Tom on the call, that we've also got Walking with Water as a site on our website, which provides lots of really good routes that people can actually get out into the environment and walk by water. Tom, I don't know if you want to mention anything
No,
about
absolutely,
that.
Karen. Yeah, I just want to point everyone again to our Walking with Water portal. It's tremendous, really, if you're at a loss, if you just want somewhere natural to explore and to really connect with the environment on that sort of level, then you can go to walkingwithwater.org.uk. And if you can't find one necessarily too near a water company, we've also teamed up with the Canal and River Trust. So you can pop your postcode in and they have seemingly tracked down every stream, every fjord, every whatever, So you are not going to run out of places to walk by water. So definitely go onto our site and check that out.
It's a brilliant resource, actually, and the whole Walking with Water initiative is just trying to link up with all the other fabulous resources that's already out there. So there's a place you can go and you can just find out so many great walks nearby where you live to help make that connection between the water that you drink and the water that the environment needs to thrive. So Tuesday sounds like a really, really good day. We met with WaterAid the other day in one of our recent episodes. And it was really fascinating, wasn't it, Karen?
It was. I mean, they do some brilliant work, and I think, it really brought home to us how we tend to take our water supplies for granted.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're very lucky in this country to be able to turn on the tap and just have readily clean drinking water available. And I find it quite striking that we flush our toilets with that same clean drinking water when you have people out there that don't have that availability to have drinking water. So, yeah, I think it's quite stark, really, and it really drives home that impact.
Yeah, and I did as a little experiment, just captured on my phone every interaction I had with water in one day, right? And it was 55 interactions with water, which just hits home how much we interact and we use water in our everyday lives, and we don't even see it. We don't even recognise it. It's just we're on autopilot, which was actually a phrase used in our the Water Night episode of the podcast as well. Autopilot when it comes to water, but that's actually part of the theme of your Wednesday of the week, isn't it? Water and everyday life. Yeah,
so we're trying to highlight how our water consumption has increased and changed. For example, back in 1985, we were using 70% less water than what we use now. The average is around 145 litres per person. So we're just trying to highlight how we just use water in our everyday life, whether it is down to health or hygiene, or lots of people with their paddling pools, swimming pools, that sort of thing, and how you can make small changes, those shorter showers, using cups under the tap when you're collecting water, to change some of those habits to help you save water, but not by making big changes and things like that.
Oh, so what tell me that 1970s fact again?
So 1985, we used 70% less water than we do now.
So 1985?
Yeah.
We used 70% less water than we do now?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. And do we know that where that increase has come from?
So a lot of it is down to our kind of appliances. So the big power showers that are using, 15 litres per minute, jet washers, the fact that lots of people now do have jacuzzis or swimming pools in their back garden. So generally lifestyle as well. So we find that lots of people are more active, more into their health and fitness. And so there are lots of people out there that shower twice a day, which for me is shocking. But they might go to the gym in the morning and shower and then come home at night and also have another shower. So it's those kind of changes in, I guess, our lifestyle that's making us use more water.
Have you ever heard of this? I got an email from a listener who has an ice rink in their garden.
What?
So they fill up the ice rink at the beginning of winter and then it freezes. This is a North American listener. I'd never heard of that before. So there's a new one for us, right? Your water saving tip. Don't refill your ice rink too often.
That's definitely a new one for me as well.
One of the things we've been really pushing recently is our Go Tap initiative, which is trying to promote tap water over bottled water. And that's another one that producer Tom has his little mittens all over. And I think that really fits in with the theme of your Wednesday, the water in everyday life, because we're saying, look, just take a reusable bottle with you and use tap water. It's available. You can top up. The refill initiative is fantastic. You can get, there's loads of places to top up. So ditch the bottled water and just go tap. Tom, was that a good enough plug for Go Tap?
That was absolutely tremendous, Mike. And I want to urge people as well to sign up for one of our tie-in bottles. They are still available. They are great value and they've got the CCW logo on them. So they'll be valuable in decades to come.
They've also got a nice Go Tap logo.
They do also that as well. They do also that.
I much prefer, don't tell our brand people, but I much prefer the Go Tap logo than the CCW logo.
That is heresy, Mike. I will delete this from the episode, don't worry.
Okay, good, thanks, because I don't want to face the wrath of Rebecca.
I don't know. If we tend to take water for granted, we tend not to pay very much attention to the water we use, and I think in those cases it's probably very low in people's awareness about how much water actually goes into producing food and the clothes that we wear. And on Thursday of Water Saving Week, you're talking about the whole issue of embedded water.
Yes, so embedded water, or as some people know it, virtual water, is essentially all of the water that is used to produce a product. So even down to the kind of manufacturing process, the cleaning process. If it's to do with kind of meat, then you've got the whole process to get from, say, cow to the steak that you're then buying in the supermarket. But if you think that it takes around 15,400 litres of water to produce about a kilogram of beef, it's an astronomical amount of water. So we're sort of making, I guess, highlighting things that you can do to change that. So maybe you want to do a meat-free day, maybe you want to choose better options, and also talking about clothing as well. So the average Brit purchases more than 2 tons of clothing every minute, which is crazy if you think that a cotton t-shirt and a pair of jeans uses around 20,000 litres of water. So it's trying to just be more mindful with when you're shopping. Maybe you shop, secondhand, charity shops. If you are potentially going to go out and buy something new, make sure that you're wearing it more than once before you go and buy a new outfit. I know in the days of Instagram and TikTok, we all love a new outfit for our gram, but it's trying to be more mindful. So re-wearing your clothes, making sure that you are wearing them more than once before you wash them, that sort of thing, and just highlighting every part of water that goes into everything.
Couple of questions there then, Steph. I need to do another fact check. So did you say, was it the average Brit, or in Britain?
The average Brit.
Brit has what? Tell the fact again then, because...
So Brits purchase more than 2 tons of clothing every minute.
But that's Britain as a whole, not each individual.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I was checking. I was like, what? Who's buying these clothes? That's one hell of an Instagram account if you're trying to get a new outfit. I mean, I know Tom changes outfits for every Instagram photo he takes. But me and Karen, probably not so much. So in Britain, we are buying 2.5 tons of clothes every minute.
Yes, more than 2 tons every minute.
More than 2 tons every minute. Wow, that's
it is mind-boggling, isn't it? Gosh,
it is. Wow, and also second part then of this, my question was: so where do you stand? Virtual water or embedded water? Which is the term that you would prefer to use?
I generally use embedded water. Because it's kind of highlights it's embedded in the product. So I think it's a bit more understandable for people to get their heads around. But it is quite a strange and bizarre concept. Most people don't usually think about the kind of water embedded in a product unless it's, actual water. So it's kind of trying to get people to understand what that means. And in terms of clothing, that's, the water that goes into growing the cotton that then is made into your t-shirts. It might even be the water in the production from getting your t-shirt from, somewhere across the globe all the way to Britain as well.
You're absolutely right, Steph. It's a concept that you wouldn't normally think about. It's not something that's top of mind. I'm buying these pair of jeans. Oh, there's a gazillion litres of water involved in making that pair of jeans. It is quite an unfamiliar one. So it's really good that you're raising awareness of this kind of thing, because as Karen said earlier, if you're not thinking about water in your day-to-day interactions around the house, why on earth would you then think about it in the products that you buy too? But it really does matter, because it can have a really big impact.
I mean, we on a recent episode, we spoke to, as she likes to be called, the food waste lady, Helen White from WRAP. And she was telling us some really unbelievable statistics. That, for example, she told us that on a daily basis in the UK, we throw away something like 920,000 bananas every day. And if everybody stopped for one day throwing away bananas, it would save the equivalent of 900 million litres of water, because that's the amount of water that goes to growing and harvesting bananas. I mean, that's fantastic.
It is amazing, isn't it? And just think of the health and safety risk. You could skid on those bananas, something chronic, yeah.
Yeah, don't tell my little boy, he loves bananas. He'll be having all of those that you're trying to throw away.
Well, it does sound like that maybe Waterwise could do a campaign on banana bread. One of the things that we probably spend a disproportionate amount of time talking about are showering and toilet habits on this podcast, mainly driven by me. But on a serious side, both are potentially really big users of water. So we love that, me in particular, I love that Friday, the grand finale of Water Savings Week, is about water and hygiene. So tell me, how much are you talking about toilets and poo?
I mean, I feel like toilets and showers are a massive part of our water and hygiene day, mainly because flushing and personal washing is around 60% of our water use in the home. And if we think about, when you go to the toilet, using the right buttons, depending on what you're doing, and trying to help save water by using the correct buttons, that sort of thing. So yes, here at Waterwise, we certainly do spend a lot of our time talking about toilets, talking about taps and showers. And I know you guys do as well. So it's just kind of highlighting how important water is, not only to our health and hygiene, but the kind of small savings you can make in all of those areas by just turning the tap off or, taking a shorter shower.
Love the stuff that you guys are doing at Waterwise on the big button, big flush, small button, small flush. I mean, just so simple, yet it is baffling why so many toilets are confusing to operate. I mean, can you believe that it's 2023 and we're talking about confusion over how to run a toilet. It's ridiculous.
And I have so many people who say, oh, I don't know which button I just press both. And I just think, oh gosh, you know how much water you're using every time you just press both buttons? There's at least 6 litres. So yeah, I think we need to go on not a rampage, but try and help highlight that point, and get those stickers on your buttons if you don't know, and educate people around what kind of buttons. And not only that, manufacturers make the buttons easily for people to use, because no one is sitting at home reading a manual on what button is what button, unless it should be very simple. Small button, number 1, big button, number 2. There we go. You heard it here first.
I mean, just to illustrate how ridiculous it was, I was visiting a water company, and they had a dual flush toilet, and they actually had instructions beside them on how to work it. And I was just left thinking how ridiculous it is that there has to be instructions on how to use a dual flush toilet. That is just it's just an unacceptable situation. And it could be easily resolved by manufacturers just being using a bit more common sense.
Steph, when we last spoke to you, we were very impressed because your personal water use was impressively low. I'm just wondering if there's been any change in usage, because as I say, we were very impressed when you told us how low you were in your water usage.
Oh, Karen, it sounds like you're introducing our confessional slot again.
Well, I have to say, it did increase a bit, and I was keeping track because I have got a smart meter, and I am one of them people that likes to check my usage. And I noticed it had increased, and I was very confused. And then I got a letter from my water supplier, Affinity, who said, oh, you're using more water and we need to increase your bill. And I thought, hang on a second, I have 4-minute showers. What's going on? And then I asked my partner if he could have a little look around, and it turns out we had a leaky loo. Now, for someone that goes on about leaky loos to everybody on a daily basis, I was shocked that I myself had a leaky loo, and it was the smallest, slightest trickle down the back of the pan, and you wouldn't know about it except for the fact that at night you could sometimes sort of hear it. But I was shocked. So we replaced the washer. Well, I say he replaced the washer. It was £1.30 from our local, DIY store. It repaired it very quickly, and I was very impressed. And our water use has now gone down, and we're on an average 142 for a 2-people household with a baby. So I think that's around 71 litres per person, not counting the baby. So I'm very impressed. We've managed to get it back down.
I think that puts you at the top of our leaderboard.
Yes, it does. And how are you getting on with your smart meter?
Really enjoy having it. But then I guess I like to check it and, chuck the partner out if he's having too long of a shower and things like that. But I do find it's really useful to be able to monitor kind of where your water is going, and also to highlight if you do have a leak, that why has your usage gone up? So I think actually in that sense it's been really helpful and has saved us a lot of money.
And how do you access the information from the smart meter? Is it on your phone, or do you have to log on somewhere? Just tell us how that works.
So I go on to it's an app that Affinity Water have, and then it's got all of my usage details. It compares me to a household, so it's got all of that kind of stuff on there. And I believe if you get the paper bills, you get smiley faces, but I only have the digital ones, so I can't confirm if that's correct. I'd quite like a smiley face though.
And without making this an episode about smart metering, final question on smart meters is, how often is it updated? Is it daily, or what's the frequency?
So I don't think mine's as smart as being daily. I know that I think I go on and have a look every month or so, and there's usually metered data, but lots of the ones that they're now rolling out are kind of minute by minute, so you can get very, very accurate data. So it depends on where in the country you sit and who your water company is as to kind of how accurate and how quick the data is, but I believe most people get it 6 monthly at the very least.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. That's great to actually meet someone who's got a smart meter and just find out their experiences about it. So just looping back around to where we started on Water Savings Week, if you want to get involved, how can you do that?
So if you want to get involved, then go to our channels. You can follow Waterwise on Twitter at Waterwise, or on Instagram and TikTok at Waterwise UK. We'll be posting all across the week, top tips, videos. So get involved. Tweet us your top tip if you've got one that we haven't talked about on here. I'm sure that we would all love to hear it. And if you have got an ice rink, then please don't fill that up this year. Try something different.
Very good. And if you're listening to the podcast after Water Savings Week, are there ways that people can still get involved?
Yes, definitely. I think all of the top tips that we give aren't just for the week. You know, you can use this in your everyday life. You can help reduce your bill. Mine's now £16 a month, which I think is amazing considering how expensive everything is at the moment. So yeah, I would really implore you to kind of take all of those tips and knowledge and use them throughout your everyday life.
Oh, so your water and sewage bill combined then annually is under 200 quid?
Yes.
That's, well, look, we can talk about advice and saving money till the cows come home, right? But there will be people listening to this who might have bills that are far higher than that. So you're living proof you've got family, and you've got a partner that I feel a little bit sorry for, because you always talk about berating this poor person to get out of the shower. But this is real life. This is what people can do without making big sacrifices, right?
Definitely. And it's just simple things, reusing water where you can, get that water butt out in the garden. I've already taught my little boy, he's at 20 months and he knows to use his watering can and go out and fill it up at the water butt and water the plants. We tried to make it a bit fun as well. So, turn those taps off when you brush your teeth, have those shorter showers. If you do want a bath, just, make it a little bit shallow. So there's still enough water to splash, but not enough water to, keep that water bill high. And check those leaky loos. If that's the one thing you take away from this, is check if you've got a leaky loo. And if you do, then get it repaired and you'll see massive savings on your water bills.
Brilliant. Thanks, Steph. We wish you and Waterwise every successful Water Savings Week this year. We will have you guys back on soon to find out how it all went. In fact, we've got some plans for your boss. I don't know if she realises what she's let herself in for. So we will be speaking to you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
CCW, passionate about championing the best interests of everyone who uses water, now and in the future.
Great to have Steph on from Waterwise, telling us all about Water Savings Week. Really, really great week, isn't it, Karen?
Yeah, and I think it's brilliant the way that they're having a different theme for every day, because it does make you think about water in a different way. And quite clearly, there are all different angles to, in the way that we can look at water and think about what we're doing with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some themes there that we certainly want to nick for future editions of Waterfall. Actually, the embedded water stuff is absolutely fascinating. And I think I really like the fact that Water Saving Week just encourages people to get stuck in and get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just for that week. This is about simple things that people can do in their daily lives. And I think that was a clear call to action from Steph.
Yeah, love having the Waterwise guys on. Always really practical and just always good to have them on too. And puts our own personal water use to shame, doesn't it, Karen? Your personal water use.
Okay, I'm keeping quiet.
Yeah. Probably best. Oh, and by the way, now that Tom's moved into his own place, he's got no excuse in terms of his own personal water use, because I think Tom was deploying the "I'm not in charge of my water bill" excuse for not having a clue about his own personal water use. So, Tom, we will revisit this.
That's fine. That's fine.
Right now.
That's fine.
What I'm doing is putting you on notice. Okay?
No. South staffs are going to be inundated by so many questions. So get ready. Yeah, it's all good.
Well, we're very much looking forward to that.
Uh-oh.
So look, it's been a really good episode of Waterfall. Brilliant to have the Waterwise guys on, and don't forget, you can get in touch with the show. There's many ways you can do that. Instagram, Waterfall Podcast, or of course email.
Yes, and that's podcast@ccwater.org.uk.
And don't forget, if you like what you hear, please do subscribe to Waterfall. You'll never miss an episode. And check out our extensive back catalogue. We've got well over 30 episodes now. Brilliant material to keep you occupied. Tom always can reel off how long that is in total if you play them all back to back. Do you know what the total is now?
I'm just going to check it right now because that will be updated shortly. But I just want to urge people while I do to also find us on Spotify, as you say, and also to go onto iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and see all the nice reviews that people have been saying also. But total runtime, if you were to listen to every episode of Waterfall back to back, 15 hours, 56 minutes.
Wow.
So that's a lot of water
There's a day in
saving.
the life you never get back. All right, brilliant. So all that's left to say is goodbye from me, Mike.
Goodbye from me, Karen.
And goodbye from me, producer Tom.